All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, it's time for our first conversation. David Arinze, development expert, is joining me right now via Skype. Hello, David, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello, good to hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, let's get started. International Youth Day today.
Absolutely.
Speak to me about what you think. What are your views? What are your opinions? The theme, youth engagement for global action. What do you think?
Thank you again for asking the question, Nancy. Youth engagement for global action is one that we are in a period in the year where 2020 has been one that has come with so many mixed feelings and realities that we've had to deal with. And one can ask the question: is there really anything worth celebrating, for the World and the International Youth Day today? But one thing is certain is we can begin to, as young people, see how we have reinvented our various engagements. We have been able to ensure that we advocate the significant push in terms of trying to solve issues around gender equality, climate change, social injustice, racism across the world. So I would say that it's a day set apart to recognize the actions that youth have taken so far in ensuring that we make the world a better place for everyone, and to celebrate the commendable work that has happened across various sectors, from the tech space to the policy space. It's a day set aside to celebrate those wins. But again, I want to have a little shift from not just celebrating those wins, but a call to action for young people to begin to see that there is still much more work that needs to be done for young people in Nigeria and from everywhere where this broadcast is being shared. That it also plays a responsibility on young people to ensure that they add their quota, they think contribution and add their quota towards ensuring that the world is at a point where we all can celebrate a world that is fair, a world where everyone is impacted, everyone can live a better quality of life, a world where everyone everywhere can be proud of, a world where there is no racism, a world where we have where there is no poverty, and when I think about the International Youth Day, I think about the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 goals. You see, a world where there is no hunger, a world where education is addressed, a world where there is decent work and economic growth for young people, a world where no climate change. So we think about, we as young people need to see how we can add our quota towards solving this myriad of challenges which are currently facing our world today.
Now, the question for us as a country is that, have we recognized that youth are the assets of this country beyond rhetorics, beyond when perhaps there is an election that you begin to gather young people to be vanguards and campaigners for you or for certain parties? Take a look at President Muhammadu Buhari, came into power backed so much by young people in 2015. I don't know if he got as much of the support in 2019 from youth, but he still, came up tops in the 2019 elections, isn't it? Yes. So do you think that there is the recognition that youths are the assets of this country in reality, beyond esoteric things?
I would like to say that the government has played some role in ensuring that they create an enabling platform for young people, for youth, to thrive in terms of various engagements in the political space. But would I say that the government has done enough? Absolutely no. The government needs to shake more hands with youth-led organizations, because we have youths who are doing tremendous work across the country. In Nigeria today, even as an organization, we support youth-led companies, early stage and mid-stage renewable energy companies, and these companies today are all run by youth, or from the CEOs to the members of management. So youth time and again have shown that they are capable, that they can produce results that are very laudable. And we see that these companies have even grown to providing clean and affordable energy for communities across the country, impacting several hundreds of thousands of lives. Youth, when we look at the entrepreneurship space, the fintech space, we look at what entrepreneurs are doing, most of the top performing organizations today are youth-led. So, but would we say that the government has done all they can? Absolutely not. The government needs to ensure that they create that enabling platform to synergize with youth-led organizations, with youth, champion more youth-led initiatives. As an organization today, in partnership with our development partners, we seek to ensure that we impact a minimum of 15,000 young people, youth to be precise, in Lagos, with various skills that cut across all.
Okay, it seems it seems his network is a bit bad. Let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, we'll try to reconnect to David Arinze. But while we're on that break, all you need to do is to join us on all our social media platforms. You can send me a tweet right now at Nancy Ilo. You can also send us a tweet at Moneyline TV. You can find us on Facebook, Moneyline with Nancy TV. Tell us what you think about the International Youth Day that is being commemorated around the world today. Hello YouTubers, welcome to Moneyline with Nancy TV YouTube channel. This is where we provide you with instructive business directions, processes, and guidance to help you assess the right resources to fund your businesses to withstand every form of internal and external shock. You will find here awesome informative videos on business, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle just to help you make informed business and financial decisions. Punch the subscribe button and let us drive you through the world of business. Please follow all our social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and follow us for latest updates on our website. All right, David Arinze is still back with me, development expert. David, I was saying earlier before the break that I would want us to take a look at the role of young people in Nigeria beyond rhetorics and beyond lip service. There will be an election in Edo State next month. Of course, I think also in Ondo State. We see what's happening right now within the political sphere of those states. You see a lot of young people coming around. We also see that women are being galvanized at this point, but they call them out when they need them, and at the end of the day, they go back again. And promises sometimes are not kept. What should be the role of young people in nation building?
Absolutely. Thank you again, Nancy, for that exciting question. One of the things I would like to speak to us and also mention to young people across the country is, as young people, we need to learn how to not just be used as political tools, right? Where we come in only for us to ensure that the new leader emerges and we go into our shells, or we don't make the government accountable. Young people, at the point of showing your allegiance or participation, with your affiliation with any of the political parties, because the leadership directly affects young people. So young people need to be able, at the point where you're being engaged, when you're being spoken to, at the point of lending your voice, you need to be able to let the government. We are bringing you in primarily because we understand that your initiatives, your ideas, your programs would be able to foster the advancement of youth development in the state. And you need to clearly hold this government in question accountable. So it rests on the shoulders of young people to be very clear that we would only support that which shows development, which shows equity, which shows growth for young people. And so young people need to be clear, because if you keep on making yourself available to be used as a political tool, or just deciding to just remain at the stage of social media, that's not going to get the job done. You need to get back home. As a young person, you have your sphere of influence. If you can be the change you seek, and ensure that you go back home to inspire the other young people within your ethos, within your ecosystem, and ensure that you inspire them and make them share the same values that would lead to sustainable transformation within your local, because it starts at the local level. You know, the International Youth Day seeks to achieve its aim across three different strata: the local, at the local and community level, at the national level, and at the global level. The local and community level is very key, and that's where we young people can say that we can own and take over. So, but if you just leave it to social media or complain and you don't get to work and stay engaged and stay committed, we wouldn't achieve the results that we seek. So young people need to go home, young people need to get down to ensure that they inspire a new generation of leaders.
Now, if we're talking of that inspiration, how much inspiration can the young people draw from the local domestic business environment, which is not so friendly at this time? I know the government, both at federal and state level, some states are coming up with some kind of friendly policies for government. Some states are also coming up with some kind of intervention funds for businesses. Governor Sanwo-Olu is doing a few things in Lagos. The federal government is putting some things together. But how much inspiration can the young people draw from the business environment right now that is existing to be able to be the best they can be in whatsoever field they choose to follow?
We are aware of the challenges that are facing young people today. We can choose to make an excuse that based on these challenges or these various problems that we are facing today, young people can choose to make excuses. But when we see that there is a need, and regardless of the environment, regardless of the opportunities and the challenges that exist, we need to win. When we know that a no is not an option. Yes, there are challenges, and there will always be challenges. But young people need to be optimistic and look beyond what are the ways, what can we do now? What can we do from where we are? You know, what can you do from the point you are in to ensure that you can begin to stir up this change that you seek? So we can make tenable excuses and say, okay, yes, these problems are there. The environment is not enabling enough to inspire young people to achieve that which they seek. And yes, we can all mock and gloss around a very tenable excuse. But my clarion call to young people today is to look beyond these challenges, because nothing worth celebrating would come cheap. It would require action, it would require consistency, it would require moving beyond the tides, it would require sacrifice to be able to ensure that the results and the end goal is achieved. And that is the direction, and that is the mentality, possibility mentality, is what the young person in Nigeria and everyone watching this video, this broadcast should have.
Now, I asked that question first because my next question would be the kind of inspiration that young people of these days, young people in Nigeria, should derive from people like Bill Gates, that started Microsoft at age 16. People like Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, that started Facebook at 19. People like Steve Jobs, late Steve Jobs, he founded Apple at 21. You know, one might say, okay, they didn't hit their break at that point, but they had a clarity of vision of what they wanted to do in the world. Michael Dell Computers also started at 21. So what kind of inspiration should Nigerian youths draw from this kind of guys that are commanding global attention, even if some are not alive like today, Steve Jobs, but his product is used everywhere in the world. Bill Gates is still alive. He's still there. He's doing quite a lot of great things. He's one of the world's richest. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk too. I think started at about 21 or 23 or so. So what kind of, I'm saying this deliberately so that young people watching can begin to take inspiration from that, despite the first question which I asked you, that perhaps the business environment is not friendly. So can they draw inspiration from this kind of global icons and turn the corner in our country?
Absolutely. Young people need to have a solutions mindset. Mark Zuckerberg wanted to bridge that communication gap, and that's what inspired Facebook. Elon Musk have tried, if you look at the biography of Elon Musk and look at the various investments that have worked and so many of them that have failed, yes. you know that it takes only a resilient youth to be able to achieve the kind of results that these persons and role models have achieved. And Nigerian youths are resilient, Nigerian youths are resourceful, and Nigerian youth are engaged. We have beautiful, successful companies that have emerged from very young people today across various fintechs, agri-tech businesses, and the likes of them. There are so many examples that we can give, right? So the average young person watching today should have a possibility mindset. What are the challenges that currently exist? And what skills do I have or do I need to have to be able to begin to create solutions that will be able to address these problems? Because if you provide a solution to an aching problem, certainly monies would come. You will get value for your time, you will get value for your resources spent. So young people need to begin to think solution, think ideas, and not just think ideas, but think how you can turn these ideas to finished product that would impact the general public. And young people in Nigeria need to also begin to think, how can I, though I am in Nigeria, how can I leverage on certain platforms to be able to lend my solution? So some solutions may be transmitted via social media. Some persons have been able to create multi-million naira businesses by leveraging on online platforms on social and the power of social media. We have young people today who have created course content and put them on global platforms like Udemy and other Coursera and the rest of them. So what am I trying to say? You need to think solution. You may not you may not be able to control all the factors, but as a young person, think about it. What's my idea? What's the solution? Yeah. What can I leverage on at the interim to be able to achieve that which I seek?
Okay, David, just finally, what kind of skills, because you talked about skills, what kind of skills should
Absolutely.
a youth possess, a Nigerian youth? Because it seems that anything in Nigeria is quite peculiar. The qualities a young person may possess in the US or UK may be different, Absolutely. Or even in Asia, may be different from what a Nigerian youth should possess right now. So what kind of skills should a Nigerian youth possess to achieve that which he or she seeks and to go beyond his or her environment? David, are you still there? Okay, it seems the picture is frozen. All right, let's see if we can get David again. That was my final question though, but let's see if we can get him. The second half of the program, I will be chatting with Dr. Bashir Umar, who will be chatting with me about the CBN non-interest financial interventions. It's another Wednesday, so another CBN weekly. Let's quickly take this, and we'll be right back to continue the program this day.
The future, according to experts, will be ICT-driven, socially and economically. And with women and girls constituting 49% of Nigeria's population, it does make economic sense that adequate investment is made in equipping more girls and women in ICT entrepreneurial activities, as this will increase economic productivity rate as well as driving down the gender disparity in the ICT industry. This forum has taken up the task as part of effort to equip more women in the ICT industry.
African Scholars Care is an initiative set up to bridge the gap in the educational sector within the continent, Africa. Now we are in for the Girls in ICT program because we want to bridge the lacunas, because if you notice in the ICT world today, you have more men in inclusion than women. Why we chose to train the girls in ICT is to bridge the gap in the space of the ICT world so we can have more women in inclusion.
Some key players who spoke at the forum urged female entrepreneurs and young Nigerians in the ICT industry to remain dedicated and committed to going an extra mile in building upon their base in ICT, adding that an added advantage is crucial to thriving in the industry.
When the women also dedicate themselves to what they do, they could also do better than the boys or the men. So that does not make us disadvantaged. It's about resilience, it's about being committed to whatever thing you're doing, and you'll be the best out of what you're doing. We should be inclusive in the policies we create right now. Government should bring in as much as possible young people into the kind of policies, yes, especially girls, into the kind of policies we're creating now.
As a female ICT practitioner, it has been a very awesome journey. But one thing I really want to bring out is that as any individual, in whatever industry or area of life you want to go in, you must have something called an added advantage. Your added advantage is your unique selling point. That's your USP. It's what stands you out from everybody else that studied the same subject you studied. So as much as I studied ICT, I also dabbled into project management, and I'm also a PR person.
They also called on the government to be futuristic and inclusive in policy making to ensure more youth are involved in national development. Helena Olori reporting for Moneyline with Nancy.
Thank you for watching our video. Please hit the subscribe button.